You're listening to Nick DiPaolo on the Riotcast Network, riotcast.com.
Hi, kids. How y'all doing out there? All right? Sure, it's still the holidays. Johnny, kick it in, baby. How was your Christmas? Mine was terrific. I got 2 pair of jeans at $188 a piece. I can't find real jeans to fit me because I actually have legs like a man. I actually played sports and I have thighs bigger than a fucking anorexics. Ever try to go to the Gap and try on jeans? You know, if you're a theater major, there's no problem. Everything fits you. But God forbid you did 2 squats in your life and maybe had a protein shake. I got an ass like a young black female, so I can't get fucking jeans past my thighs. The only ones I can find are these like this designer guy or girl. I don't know what he is, but they don't look designer. They look normal. But I'm just saying, right, Johnny? And yeah, so the wife gets me a couple pair of those. Shirt at the Gap, sweats. Really does suck as an adult, doesn't it? As a kid, best gift I ever got, I think it was a Daisy air rifle. I told you I had my buddy Robbie Sear. I took off my shirt and I said, I'm going to run down the driveway. I want you to shoot me in the back. And this was a Daisy pellet / BB gun that if you pumped it 10 times, you could take down a fucking rhino with it. I said, just pump it once or twice, no more than that. So I'm running down the driveway, and I'm waiting to be shot, and I'm still running. I'm going, this motherfucker, he pumped it like 3 times, broke the skin in my back. But that was a gift. Still got that picture of me in Batman pajamas holding my Daisy air rifle. And I remember getting a New York, I was a Fran Tarkenton fan as a kid when he was a quarterback for the Giants. That's how fucking old I am. And I got the full Giants uniform. Can't believe I'm admitting that. But they were on TV in Boston all the time. The Patriots sucked, and they never put them on TV. And my brother got the Dallas Cowboys uniform. And we put them right on and went out back. And my brother, I had him run towards me. He tried to hurdle me, and I cut his legs out and landed on his back and knocked the wind out of him. That was the end of that. Those are Christmases. That was fun. How about the time I got a Texaco truck, oil truck, a little replica? Remember those? Those are fucking awesome, too. I'm pushing that down the, imagine liberals listening. Well, they don't listen to this show, but they'd be shitting their pants. Really? You got an oil truck? Anyways, that spring, I'm pushing it down the driveway, with all my weight on it, with my hands, and it locks up on me, and I go face first and take the 3 inches of epidermis off my face and knocked my front baby teeth out. And I had my school picture taken a week later. I got scabs on my face, no teeth. Look like an NHL defenseman. Those are the Christmases that I remember that were fun. Before I forget, speaking of gifts, I want to thank you contributors. You've been more than generous this month. Seriously, all of you. And I can't thank you enough. Jonathan Keller. Johnny Boy, thank you so much. Julian Nadu. Big contribution. And I don't say that sarcastically. I mean a big contribution. Thank you so much, Julian. Really appreciate that. Another huge one from Robert Darrow. Bobby D, as I call him. Bobby, thank you. Thank you so much. Joey Lazara. Joseph Lazara. I notice people I'm Nicholas, but I go by Nick. A lot of people I don't know, maybe it's on their credit card or something. But anyways, Joe Lazara, thank you so much for another big fat contribution. And Michael Corbin, I think it's his second one. And another 2 big ones. Thanks again, Michael, so much. And Dave Harris, who I believe has contributed before. Thank you, guys, and I really do appreciate it. I don't know where you live and stuff. I'd like you, to come out to the show and I could buy you a round of Jack Daniel shots, and then we could chase each other in our cars in the parking lot after the show. But thank you guys again so very much for that. And what else? I got a little bit of a cold, I think you'd notice. Sometimes I sleep in this guest room and I don't feel like going upstairs. You know, I've been married 20 years. What the fuck I'm talking about? But not 20 years. I've been with her for 20-something years. But you know what I'm saying. Sometimes the guest bedroom's 3 feet away and I'm like, all by myself. But it's a little chilly in there. Steam heat doesn't make it to that room. So I wake up and I can see my breath. It looked like the Vikings game last night. Hey, the Giants put out a good effort, huh? I feel bad for Coughlin, man. He deserves better than that. But anyways, we'll get to that shit in a few minutes. Thank you guys again very much. What the hell do I want to talk about? What else about Christmas? That was it. Like I said, the wife's got the knee problem, right? So it's, she can't leave. She's got to do this machine 6 hours a day, 2 hours at a pop. And I'll break that down for you mathematicians. That's 3 sessions. Anyways, so we really couldn't go anywhere. We were stranded, and her mother came down and a few other people, you know, a couple days before Christmas. But quiet Christmas at home. And it's going to be quiet New Year's, I guess. And but she's up and about today. She actually left the house on her own. So this misery thing is over. She actually got in her car. And I'm like, you sure? Meanwhile, I'm praying inside, going, oh, fuck, please say I can do it myself. She's like, no, I'm good. Got the one crutch. Like fucking Tiny Tim Cratchit. Anyways, she's out doing stuff. A little bit of relief. Anyways, I'm sure she'd do the same for me, right, fellas? Wouldn't she? Sure she would. Yeah, my sister's ass. Where do we want to start? Let's get the boring shit out of the way. I like to watch. We do a little politics here. It's not heavy politics, but enough. I can't help myself on Sunday. I have to watch Meet the Press, and this week with Dried Up Snatch, Martha Raddatz, or the Greek midget he's never there. But I got to watch those shows because it's like a car crash to me. The bias, the media bias. If there's a revolution, they're the first people we murder. It starts with the fucking ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. I just have fantasies about kicking the door in at CNN and just machine gunning these fucking douchebags. Same with NBC. The NBC's the worst, actually. But what's her name? Andrea Mitchell filled in. That old broad. And she interviewed Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's the head of the DNC. You've seen that skank with the curly, blonde, greasy hair and just, woe is me, women are victims, Republicans hate women, they want to take away their health, and they rape us on the streets, and they backhand us in the face, and they pull our hair, if we're lucky. Anyways... She just makes me laugh. She's so biased and such a fucking idiot and such everything that's wrong with this country that I have to watch when she's on. So I got her being interviewed by Andrea Mitchell, who's, about as left as they come. So you can imagine it's just a terrific show. But let's just listen to a little bit and make fun of it together. I don't even know what's coming here.
Donald Trump is going to raise this issue, as he is warning, of Bill Clinton's past and sexism. Does that give you any pause as Democratic chair?
I think that Donald Trump or any candidate on the other side of the aisle would raise Bill Clinton as somehow a negative to their peril. I think every poll I've ever seen shows that if President Clinton were a candidate tomorrow, he'd be reelected. He presided...
Really, Skankola? What polls are those you're reading? Really? To their peril? Really? You don't think that when you cry sexism, when Hillary cries that's not going to open a can of worms, that the most ill-informed Republican voters could fucking see the hypocrisy in that? This guy was finger-popping interns, and one woman tried to charge him with rape, and that skank down in Arkansas, and... Are you kidding me? Do you really want to go there? And then he's caught with some guy on some island with underage women, that a very rich fella. And are you kidding me? And so you don't think that's fertile ground? That's going to hurt anybody who's running against Skankola? Thick ankle dog face? Come on. Come on. Are you fucking serious?
At that time, over the longest period of prosperity, sustained up to that point, finished his term.
Talking about how the economy was so great under Bill Clinton. Yeah, he benefited from the .com boom. And we all know that, okay? Don't get me wrong. He's way better than his wife in that he fucking reached across the aisle and did work with the Republicans on his second term. He worked with Gingrich because he had no choice. He was drifting far off to the left, just like shithead in chief is now, and like Hillary will. She just, you know, she's got a hate. And this broad is this broad is woe is me, Republican. Just listen how much she plays the female victim card. This is the head of the DNC, brother.
Very popular and continues to be one of the most admired elected officials and former elected officials and men in the world.
What about sexism in this campaign? Donald Trump claimed that he was not using a vulgar term when he said that Clinton had been schlonged by Barack Obama in her defeat in 2008.
I will tell you.
Take on that?
Growing up in my house as a little girl,
I had never saw her schlong, except my uncles.
Term, or had anyone used that term around my grandmother or my mother, it would certainly have been considered vulgar and would have...
Yeah, those aren't the standards we go by, what your mother and your Jewish grandmother went and considered vulgar. Yeah, you're supposedly evolved. You're strong women now. Oh, goodness gracious. That was funny. There wasn't a Trump saying that she was schlonged. He probably didn't know. Knowing him, I don't know if he really did know. Even if he did, I just love it. And again, I don't even really want him to be president. But I will owe this guy a debt of gratitude the rest of my life for just letting people fucking know that, hey, can you let a guy be a guy? And this is how we really talk and whatnot. And just making people like this look silly.
Resulted in a pretty severe punishment as we received anytime we used a term that was inappropriate. Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, the larger issue on the Republican side of the aisle is that all of them subscribe to policies that are harmful to women.
Yes, they don't have sisters and mothers and shit. That's what they want. They want to hurt women. You evil fucking snaggletooth douche. Ugh, just insincere. Disingenuous. Call it what you want. Makes me ill. Just a blind ideologue.
But it's more to the point of the sexism that has been alleged, the bullying by Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump, because I think he is in a class by himself as far as the way
He's
she
certainly
has
taken
responded.
it to a new low.
This is partly what he had to say about Hillary Clinton's campaign energy.
She does an event. She puts on her pantsuit. She walks in. No, sure. She walks in, does an event. You don't see her for 4 days, 5 days. You know why? She goes back home and she goes to sleep. This is not what we need as a president. We need tremendous energy.
So this low-energy criticism worked against Jeb Bush. It really hurt Jeb Bush. Is it going to work against Hillary Clinton?
You know, like I said, Donald Trump has been an equal opportunity insulter.
Ooh,
he's
you just come up with that
and
one?
been vulgar about not only Secretary Clinton, but Carly Fiorina and Megyn Kelly, even me.
You could take it. You're strong. You're strong women.
Outrageous, the depths and how low he has allowed the campaign to sink.
Eat shit and die, hog
the
face.
rest of the Republican field,
How's that for commentary, folks?
Why is it working so well for him?
Because the country's had enough of your fucking horse-shit. That's why you fucking two dummies.
Hillary Clinton.
It's very simple. Why he's doing so well in the Republican field is because...
there's a lot of independents he's doing well with, too, you blonde-headed, bleach blonde fungus. You nimmer. Why is he doing so well? Yeah, he's crushing people. Why? Because they've had it with your woe is me, whether it's Black Lives Matter, feminist douches. We've had it with that shit. We've had it. And he makes fun of a handicap reporter. That's called being inclusive. How about that? We have had it with your horse shit. Time is running out on your victim politics. And I hope Hillary goes down that path. Well, she's gonna. That's the only path they friggin' know. And she's gonna get slaughtered by whoever. Oh, just sitting there listening to these two dogs. And she's just throwing up softballs to her, you know. Just throwing them up. Basically, it's this. It's two women who have never voted Republican in their lives go, isn't Donald Trump vulgar? Isn't a rich white businessman? Isn't he an asshole? Can you just co-sign my bullshit for the next half hour before we move on to the next segment? This passes as journalism.
This is where the Republican Party is today. They embrace defunding Planned Parenthood. They don't believe in equal pay for equal work. They don't believe that we should make sure that women have an opportunity to make their own health care choices. This is not where Americans are today. Americans are where the Democratic Party is. Where
Really? How'd you do in the midterms? How'd you do in the fucking midterms? I think Republicans won more shit at the local levels, local municipalities, governorships than they have since like 1902. They cleaned house in the midterms. Just swept everything. You're lucky if your party survives the next 20 years. This is how fucking blind she is. And again, I don't want to turn this into Meet the Fucking Press, but I can't help it. I'm into this shit, and when I hear bullshit, I call her on it. Just sitting there. Oh, God, help us, Lordy.
Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and Martin O'Malley are wanting to continue the economic prosperity that we've been able to create, bringing us from the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression forward 69 straight months of job growth. And that's where we're going to continue because we'll elect one.
Yeah. 94 million people out of work, almost 50 million on food stamps. She's bragging about the economy. That's the get the fuck. Get out of here. By the way, I turned into my De Niro character again when my wife told me the price of the jeans. Because, it's basically I'm buying my own gifts. I'm like, what did I tell you? I told you not to get anything too expensive. Get it out of here. Get it. I don't give a fuck where you get it. Take it back. I don't give a fuck where you get it out of here. And we had a good laugh. I came in the front door on Christmas. I pulled like fucking a dead branch I found in the woods with like 2 leaves on it. And I came in the front door and I went, I'm home. I got the most expensive tree they had. Of course, she was upstairs. She couldn't come down and fucking... I thought she could hear me, and that joke just lay flat to nobody. But I thought it was funny. She's up there working out her knee like Joe Namath. Anyways, enough of Debbie Mustache Schultz. I can't take it. Just watch some of that shit. You guys are into politics that listens, and you vote like I do. Just watch some of that shit on Sunday morning if you want to get your blood curdling. It's hilarious. Chuck Todd and the rest of those fucking dimwits who have never left D.C., she got schlonged. And when she went to the bathroom, it was disgusting. I fucking love it. It's immature and stupid, and you know what? I love it. It's a breath of fresh air. I don't give a shit. Until Hillary stinks it up with a nice Chipotle dump. How are you, folks? What else is going on? I got tons of shit here. Oh. I want to get to this right now because... this made me sad. This made me very sad. Dave Henderson, folks. You remember him. Especially if you're a Red Sox fan. Had a massive heart attack and died this weekend. At the age of 57. And this guy will live in Red Sox folklore forever. Just hit the biggest home run at that point in Red Sox history. And I know Al Michaels agrees with me that he calls it the greatest baseball game ever that nobody talks about. That ALCS, Red Sox Angels 1986. And Sox are, it's game 6. They're down 3-1, folks. They're down 3-1. Everybody forgets this. We remember all the shit. Obviously, Bill Buckner push these memories out of our heads, but they were down to their last strike. And Dave Henderson, who the Sox had just picked up that year, I believe, they're down 5-4, 2 outs, so they're down to the last strike. If he strikes out, the season's it's no good. It's gone. And he's facing Donnie Moore, who's got a wicked sinker. And so Henderson comes up to bat for the injured Tony Armas. He's only come to bat, I think, in 36 regular season games, he's hitting 196. This is Game 5 of the American League Championships here. And he comes up. And like I said, with 2 strikes on him, he hits a wicked sinker, somehow reaches out. Looks like he just poked it, like it was going to fucking hits a home run. What am I telling you about it for? Let's friggin', I'll never forget it. Let's listen to it.
To left field and deep and down he goes back and it's gone. Unbelievable.
Ties the game. Ties the game. God bless his late soul. He eventually hits the game-winning run on a sacrifice fly in the 11th inning. And then he started the rest of the games in the ACLS and in the World Series against the Mets. He hit .324 in the 86 postseason. Then he played one more year with the Sox. Then he got traded to the Giants. And then ended up in Oakland. And I had the pleasure of meeting Dave Henderson a few years after that. I was playing the Comedy Underground in Seattle. And there was a bar there right under the club that a pro baseball player a former baseball player owned. Pro ball player. Jesus Christ, spit it out. And I can't remember the guy's name. But it's where visiting teams used to hang out. And Dave Henderson, I think, was with the A's at the time. And he was at the friggin' bar. And I went over and shook his hand. He actually lived in an apartment complex that I lived in when I, first got out of college, thinking I had money, selling. I think I was doing cable TV at the time, door to door, and whatever else. But anyways, he lived in a complex. So did Clemens, I think. But couldn't have been nicer. And told him, what a Sox fan I was and what a hero. And couldn't have been nicer. And just like the articles that you read about him, so the guy just had nothing but all he did was smile and laugh. He couldn't have been nicer. So, 57 years old. That is ridiculously young. And so rest in peace, Dave Henderson. Condolences to the family. And boy, that made me sad. He threw out the pitch, the Red Sox, a few years ago. First pitch. I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And that was unbelievable. That was as good a baseball game as ever. And I heard Al Michaels saying that in an interview, or I read it. He said it was like the best game nobody ever talks about. Maybe the best game ever. Christ, was that clutch. And if you and they show him hopping up and down as he's going to first base, his vertical leap. He was just jumping up and down because he's excited. He looked like his vertical leap was like 58 inches. Unbelievable, crazy, good athlete. But boy, that was sad. What else? Let's stay on sports, I guess. Since by the way, I preach how I love college football. Well, New Year's Day, don't go anywhere, especially if you're NFL fans. If you just love the sport, watch those ball games. There's some matchups. Michigan State, Alabama. I'm already getting hard thinking about it. And there's some good one on today, actually. Navy, who was actually ranked this year. Navy was ranked. They're playing Pittsburgh, I think, as I speak. Anyways, let's talk about the 500-pound elephant in the room, the New York J.E.T.S. Jets taking down my New England Patriots. And don't get too excited. But that was a barn burner. But again, can I just say this? And it's not sour grape. Congratulations, Jets. By the way, I'm a fucking huge fan of Fitzpatrick, the quarterback. Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald? That's how big a fan I am. I can't believe I'm fucking up his name. Anyways, he's that guy's the real deal. I liked him up in Buffalo. He was playing with a shitty team with the Bills. And, right? I liked him then. But there's something about these Harvard guys that, But he's the fucking real deal. And that's a good defense. But I'll say this. Let me preface this before we get to the meat of the thing. Obviously, the coin toss and all that shit. I have no idea what happened there. But let's be honest, folks. If the Patriots are healthy, I don't think this might be the year they went all the way undefeated. I've never seen a team go down like, what the fuck? Vollmer, another all-pro offensive lineman down. No Devin McCourty yesterday, and no Patrick Chung. And again, not to mention Dion Lewis, who we lost months ago, our best running back, leading the Pats in rushing. And no Edelman. And I don't want to hear, well, all teams have injuries. They don't lose 7 all-pros at once. It doesn't. I mean, there are some years where teams get hit all at once, and that's what's happening. But, I mean, Gronk's back. We're going to get Edelman back in a couple weeks. And Devin McCourty, I don't even know what's wrong with him, so I'm sure he'll be back. If they get near healthy, watch out. But that doesn't take anything away from the Jets. They were great yesterday. But let's talk about what the fuck was that about, the overtime. The coin toss. I don't... Let's listen to the actual coin toss. And like Dan Fouts said, first I thought he was crazy, but it's almost like the referee said you want to kick off. He almost confused Jackie Slater. Now that we look at this next day, the story is Bill Belichick, the press conference after the game, said, no, I told him that we wanted to kick off. And I still don't know if I believe that or not. I think Jackie Slater got confused by the referee. Why would you... Think about this. You got Tom Brady and arguably the best offense in the NFL. Why would you not take the ball first? And in the paper, people trying to second guess and say Belichick's thinking was, we'll stop them because, you can't win on a field goal, right? You have to get a touchdown. If you get the ball first and you kick a field goal, the other team gets a shot. Those are the rules. And he's thinking, we'll give the Jets the ball. We'll stop them with our defense. And which might be flawed thinking right there, and we'll get we'll get the ball in decent field position, and we'll end it with a field goal. So, anyways, here's the actual coin toss, and you can hear the ref almost say to Jackie, "So you want to kick?" I don't know who said it first. I thought Slater spoke first, but now that I've listened to it, you can hear the ref almost confuse him.
T-sided tails. Heads. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is heads. You want to kick. You want to kick off. Kick off. You're going to receive. That way. Which way do you want to receive? What do you want to receive?
Did you hear him? He goes, "You want to kick off?" He goes, "You hear the ref say you want to kick off?" It's very friggin' weird. I just... Is Belichick covering for Jackie Slater fucking up? Or did he really believe that? That it was best to give the ball to the Jets first and that way they could end it? I don't know. Very odd. And then here's Mr. Personality after the game. I love... And it doesn't happen very often when the Pats lose and Belichick has to, that's when he gives the press. He never gives them very much, but this is when he really gives them the bare minimum. Here's the press conference after.
So why did you elect to kick on the coin toss at the time?
We thought that was the best thing to do.
Bill, what were your specific instructions to Matthew? Because it seemed like there was some confusion.
There wasn't any confusion.
No confusion.
How much time did you spend kind of discussing out the sidelines what you should do?
I don't know.
How much time did you take to discuss what you're going to do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know the truth. Belichick's that type of guy. I mean, he's that dedicated to the team concept that he would cover up for if Slater fucked up. But I don't think. Obviously, you don't let the player decide. So he had to get instructions from Belichick. So Belichick might have just blown it. Sometimes, the geniuses get too cute. And that might have been the situation. But, man, oh, man. It was a hell of a game, wasn't it? And, but like I said, we get healthy. Watch the fuck out. But we're going to lose goddamn home field advantage if we don't stop with this nonsense. But you can't have a corner and a safety. You two starting DBs out and not expect you're going to get burned. You know? And Steven Jackson, he did all right. He's a big, powerful back, kind of an old man, but he'll suffice till we get a few people back. But that was something else. And then Louis C.K. texts me today and goes, hey, that reminds me of a bit you used to do about how gay guys... I don't know how he remembers this shit. I swear to God, I might have done this bit for 6 months while we first got to New York. But I did a bit about how gay guys decided who, you know... if two gay guys are about to have sex, who decides who's going to receive and who's going to... I used to do like the referee. I'd actually simulate clicking the thing on my belt. Bruce has won the toss. He will receive. And I'd do some, obscene gesture to my ass. I want to defend this whole... I forgot all about it. Fucking Louis texted me and had a nice chat. Guy's got a mind like a steel trap. I don't know how. Anyways, so that's that. You got Denver, Cincinnati. I don't know when you're listening to this, but that's tonight. Anyways, staying with the sports thing real quick. Peyton Manning, do you hear about this? Somebody was accusing him in 2011 of using HGH when he had the bad neck and whatnot, and I don't really give a shit. And then the person that actually spilled the beans recanted it and said, I want to come out and say what I said was not true, which makes me think that it was true. And he got a call from some lawyers, probably of Peyton Manning's lawyers, and said, listen, you motherfucker, we will ruin you 12 days from Sunday if you don't take that shit. Who knows? But why would you just come out and make up shit? Although it was the Al Jazeera network. I don't know. Peyton Manning's a pretty clean guy, but I heard he's like a wild man too. He bangs a million broads and sort of like a J.E.T.S. He knows how to play the game, Who knows? But he's denied a report set to air on Al Jazeera that contends he received a human growth hormone through his wife during his recovery from neck surgery in 2011 in Indianapolis. The report claims Manning received HGH from an Indianapolis anti-aging clinic while he's still with the Colts. It said the drug, which was banned by the NFL in 2011 collective bargain agreement, was delivered to his wife, Ashley, so that the quarterback's name was never attached to the shipments. Liam Collins, a British hurdler, went undercover and spoke with Charlie Sly. Charlie Sly is the guy who said this. An Austin, Texas-based pharmacist who worked at the Geyer Institute, the Indiana-based anti-aging clinic, in 2011. Sly allegedly names Manning and other high-profile athletes as having received HGH from the clinic. However, Sly backtracks in a subsequent statement to Al Jazeera, saying Collins secretly recorded his conversations without his knowledge or consent. The statements on... That makes me believe even more that he was saying the truth, if he didn't always be... The statement on any recordings... This is Sly talking now, being quoted... or any recordings or communications that Al Jazeera plans to air are absolutely false and incorrect, Sly said. To be clear, I am recanting any such statements, and there is no truth to any statement of mine that Al Jazeera plans to air. Under no circumstances should any of those recording statements or communications be aired. But why would you... Doesn't it sound like somebody might have got to him? The league, the Players Union... added human growth hormone testing to the collective bargain agreement signed in 2011, but the side didn't agree to testing terms until 2014. Nobody has tested positive, which would trigger a 4-game suspension. Peyton said this, and he was pissed. But then again, you see him on SNL. He's actually a great actor, but he seemed pretty pissed in the interview.
What was your reaction to the Al Jazeera report that you had human growth hormone mailed to your home when you were recovering from that surgery?
Well, I think I rotate, Lisa, between being angry, furious, on and on, but disgusted is really how I feel, sickened by it, that I'm not sure I understand how someone can make something up about somebody, admit that he's made it up, and yet it somehow gets published in a story. I don't understand that. Maybe you can explain it to me, somebody else can.
That part is true, though. When the person, when the source comes out and says, I didn't say that, or those things are false, blah, 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 that should be the end of it. But see, then it takes on a life of its own, this story. And I'm talking about it now, right? So that's how it happens, and it really is friggin' unfair. But we're such a media-driven society. What are you going to do there, fella?
So it's completely fabricated, complete trash, garbage. There's some more adjectives I'd like to be able to use.
I think he's talking about the Broncos offense. No.
But it really makes me sick.
Makes him sick. I don't know. I don't usually get my sports from Al Jazeera unless ISIS is playing Al Qaeda in a preseason match. Fucking Al Jazeera network. Stick up your fucking... Get it out of here. But what do you believe? Call me at 1-800-775-4446. That's a fake number. Peyton, he looked very perturbed. And, but, it was neck fusion surgery, and HGH would probably help with the healing of that. So even if he was... What's the big fucking deal? He wasn't playing, or was he? He probably was playing at the time. But, I don't know. What, you don't think play is now? You don't think half the league's on that shit now? You really think these guys that are 6'6", 305, and they can run like a 4.7 40, you really think that's natural? That's what the big joke is. Why do you think there's so many injuries? Do you know why? Because your joints aren't meant. Ever see a guy just make a cut and his knee blows out? Or just another lineman and somebody rolls up on the back of his leg and there goes your knee. Those joints weren't meant to take that kind of weight. It's unnatural. Even up at Maine, I remember this kid went home. We came back for a camp in August. One of our linebackers who was just average speed, average physique. I'm walking down the dorm hallway, and he's coming the other way without his shirt on. I walk right past him, not even knowing who. He's like, hey, Buckbait. I turn around. I almost went into shock. He had the physique of a bodybuilder, and he knocked like 2/10 off his 40 time. And he was a juice monkey. And, come on. It's just hilarious. I would love to see, just for the optics, imagine if they made the NFL, if they tested these guys and made them stop. You ever watch clips from like the 60s when Frank Gifford played and shit? The fucking linemen had legs like supermodels. Compared to today, you get guys sitting on the bench who can't even make the team. They're like 5'10", 235. They run a 4.5 foot. It's a giant man's game. It's just crazy. And HGH, I don't know. But I wouldn't fuck with that. I want my kidneys and liver. But I don't know. You believe what you want to believe. Hey, Saturday night, over 1,000 to 2,000 teens shut down a Kentucky mall because the teens were loitering, fighting, and refusing to leave businesses. So they forced the shopping center to shut down. More signs that are... Where the fabric that holds us together is just coming apart. Is that an exaggeration? I don't fucking think so. The incidents involved between 1,000 and 2,000 teens. This is Louisville, Kentucky. Calls continue to pour in, so police requested assistance from neighboring agencies. Can you fucking imagine? A lot of the juveniles were being confrontational. This is a cop talking, by the way. Officers were being cussed at, yelled, and harassed. Thank you, Obama. Again, thank you 7 years of Obama, and here's your fundamental change. Your community organizing horseshit mentality, and don't tell me it doesn't have something to do with it. It's not directly putting it on him, but we've seen, Black Lives Matter. We've seen the whole, don't tell me. It's just copycat shit. They were doing it. Black Lives Matter was interrupting the airport, Minneapolis, on Christmas Day, and these idiots see the same shit, and they see the power in social media, so they go out and go, hey, let's go fuck up a mall. And management eventually decided to close the entire mall. There were no arrests, the officer said. Why not? They were disruptive enough where they had to shut down the fucking mall. Where where peaceful people, who obey the law go shopping. So how are there no arrests? It doesn't mention race in the article. So I'll leave that one up to you. And I'm sure there were some white teens there also involved, because obviously they were probably at the mall and get caught up. I don't even know. But could have been a mix. But I'm just saying, how come there were no arrests? Oh, I know why. Because if you arrested one of the kids and the other kids are filming it, and then your ass is on the line. That's why. And that's the climate in the country. That shocked the shit out of me, though. I remember I used to go to San Antonio to do comedy in this mall, in the River Center. And every time I went, and I went like 6 or 7 times, there may be 2 times where I didn't see mall security chasing kids out of a sneaker store or out of any store. I couldn't believe it. I would talk about it on stage every time I went to San Antonio. I would sit on the bench, and I don't know what the fuck it was about that mall, but it was hilarious. But now they didn't have social media back then. That's how long ago it was. But how do you close down a mall because kids are being 1,000 to 2,000 and not make any arrests? So where's the deterrent? You know what I mean? If you're one of those punks, why wouldn't you do it again if you had fun? Nobody get arrested. Maybe they weren't doing anything. Well, there was fighting going on. I think it's disturbing the peace. I'm no cop. Although I do play one on TV every once in a while. Yeah, it just irritates me. Again, get out the fire hoses and fucking let a few dogs zap people. Use the tasers and shit. You don't have to be lethal about it. I'm a big fan of those rubber bullets. Those seem to sting. Maybe a Daisy air rifle like I did. That hurt like a mother. That broke my skin. Robbie Sear. The kid was unbelievable. He could throw a rock through a tree, though. But I said, no, here, shoot me with my own gun. What else is in the news? Well, ISIS supporter tried to bomb Super Bowl. An Islamic State supporter in Arizona who was accused of aiding the men who attacked a Prophet Muhammad cartoon contest in Texas in May now faces charges he tried to bomb the Super Bowl. CNN reports, so it has to be true. Abdul Malik Abdul Karim, a.k.a. DeCaris Thomas, there's a fine line, folks, and you're going to see more of this, between, like an ISIS guy, terrorist, and a very angry American black guy. Yeah, there's a very fine line there. You'll see that line dissolve more and more as we progress. Also was accused of, let me say his name again, Abdul Malik Abdul Karim. Right there, that's enough for me to follow him around, just on his name alone. Nick, that's prejudice. I know it is. You're exactly right. It's called profiling. Yeah, stereotyping. Yes, it is. It's all that and more. It's also called good police work, just on the name alone. You got 2 Abduls in your name, I'm following you home. You throw a Karim and a Malik in there, I'm all over your shit. Just like they used to follow Antonio Baratucci in the Bronx in the 40s. Or Gotti, or any other. See how that works? Yeah. Okay. It's God's way. It makes it very easy for police. He's also accused of accessing an ISIS document that contained the names and addresses of U.S. military personnel. Kareem's earlier indictment was tied to providing arms and advice to Elton Simpson and Nadir Sufi. Remember those? To carry out an attack on the cartoon contest in Garland, Texas. Both were shot to death on May 3rd by a police officer before they were able to enter the facility where the contest was taking place and before they could injure anyone. You remember that, right? Back in May. It's already in the distant past. That would like to be a huge thing, but there's been so many other, terrorist-related shit since. Stuff like that gets forgotten, and it shouldn't. Before that, the three men are believed to have plotted unsuccessfully to bomb the Super Bowl. What's that, 49 XL? That was played at University of Phoenix Stadium on February 1st. Their plan to aid ISIS began before that, back in June of 2014, according to the indictment. Other possible targets included military bases, U.S. service members, and shopping malls. They reportedly practiced in remote desert areas, and Kareem is charged with carrying firearms and ammunition across state lines. The trio watched violent extremist videos depicting executions and attempted to obtain pipe bombs. Nice. They try to blow up the Super Bowl. And, it's so funny. I always say that, don't you, when you're watching? When I'm watching the NFL, I say to my wife all the time, I go, in Super Bowl and the big events, the World Series, I'm like, I'm so surprised that hasn't happened yet. Then you had that thing in Paris. But, Jesus Christ, you want to get a lot of people in one spot together? I mean, but, the guy's name's Abdul Malik Abdul Kareem. Could be an ISIS member or a point guard for the Warriors. I don't know. Follow those asses. Infiltrate those mosques.
أمركم وشركاءكم ثم لا يكن أمركم عليكم غمة ثم قضوا إلي ولا تنظرون.
Goes out to Hillary Clinton, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and to Dianne Feinstein, to the anchor women at CNN and MSNBC, and to every female college professor in the country. This goes out to you with love from the Nick DiPaolo Tolerate This. No, I don't know if that's the name yet, but it's the one I'm leaning on. Who doesn't, fella?
Santa, you know what I want for Christmas this year?
This is Debbie Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That was Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So I heard. I think it's a rumor, but... So stay away from the malls in Kentucky. There's a lot of shit going on down there. Hey, did you see this CNN anchor woman, Poppy Harlow? She kind of fainted on the air. Did you guys catch this shit? Boy, I was belly laughing. It actually turned me on. I don't know if that makes me a psycho. She started slurring her words, and they had to cut to something else. Listen to this. I'll play it for you. She sounds like a chick that, after you've given her third Alabama Slammer, or her third Long Island iced tea, or maybe even second, depending on her weight. Again, I dated the petite girls because you could give them a half a drink and they were all fucked up. I did a whole bit on that, you know that. But, listen to this. This is a CNN anchor woman getting, I guess she had a hot flash or some shit, but listen to her.
On American soil, bad news for the Obama administration. We have this new CNN ORC poll, which is quite a turnaround in
Kaka-pataka. Kaka. Didn't that sound? I don't know. She sounded kind of cute. She's like, yeah, but that's how slanted and how biased the news is at CNN. She was reporting bad news for the Obama administration. She fainted. She couldn't believe they were having her say that on her network. Let's listen to it. Let's take another look and in slow motion.
On American soil, bad news for the Obama administration. We have this new CNN ORC poll, which is quite a turnaround in.
Nighty night. Remember that? You get a few drinks in the car and you start slurring. You're like, oh yeah, I'm in. And no, I didn't drug anybody. That was way before my time. We didn't have drugs back then. We did it the old-fashioned way. We made him drink a gallon of beer. Or 4 martinis. And then we picked him up and spun him around. But it reminded me of another woman, I think a couple years ago, a CBS woman out in L.A. reporting on the Emmys or the Grammys or whatever. Her name was Serene Branson. Cute blonde. And she had some type of brain malfunction. It was actually a physical thing. And she started talking gibberish. She almost sounded like De Niro in Cape Fear. Remember when he's in the water there and go... Listen to her. This is like a cute blonde chick. She was reporting on it. And she had a little brain malfunction. Oh, don't even... Here we go.
Nominations. CBS 2's Serene Branson is live at the Staples Center with highlights and backstage coverage we're seeing for the very first time. Serene.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation tonight. We had a very Darrison by, let's go to Terrace Chase and look for the head of the pit.
Excuse me.
What the fuck? Did you hear that? Here we go again.
Nominations. CBS 2's Serene Branson is live at the Staples Center with highlights and backstage coverage we're seeing for the very first time. Serene.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation tonight. We had a very Darrison by, let's go to Terrace Chase and look for the head of the pit.
By the power invested in me. How creepy was that? And you could see this, like the frightening look on her face because she knew something was. Turns out she had I read about it after a complicated migraine. They call it complicated. I guess the fuck. But I guess 75% of cases of this complicated migraine happen in women. I guess, and I guess it can work itself out. But it seems like to me, it seems like a precursor for a stroke. I don't give a shit what you're calling it now. That's friggin' creepy, man. And, yeah, that's kind of, but the CNN chick, that made me laugh because they were, bringing up bad results for the Obama administration. And that's when she started to get dizzy. It made me crack up, me being the Hawkeye that I am, looking out for liberal bias. But let's listen to the girl again, CBS.
Nominations. CBS 2's Serene Branson is live at the Staples Center with highlights and backstage coverage we're seeing for the very first time. Serene.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation.
A heavy birtation. Who hasn't had a heavy birtation? Huh? It's a heavy birtation. It's a dangerous situation.
Tonight, we had a very Darrison by, let's go to Terrace Chase and look for the head of the pit.
Oh my God.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, not this fucking time. No fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, mate.
Yeah, that was the director for the news. She was canned. No, she was too cute to be canned. Then they played it back. I found it on the internet. I was watching, and they did an interview with her, and they watched herself watching her go through that little spell. That Miss Branson girl for the first time. It's pretty weird. Complicated migraine, really? I got to come up with that phrase. She sounded like The Exorcist when the broad started talking in tongues. And finally tonight, in the in New York City news, the capital of de Blasio and his comrades, New York City will fine you $250,000 for misgendering a transsexual. Yeah. You hear that? In the latest astonishing act of draconian political correctness, the New York City Commission on Human Rights have updated a law on discrimination on the basis of gender identity or expression to threaten staggering financial penalties against property owners who misgender employees or tenants. Incidents that are deemed willful and malicious will see property owners face up to $250,000 in fines, while standard violations of the law will result in a $125,000 fine. For small business owners, these sums are crippling. Of course they are. They hate fucking business here in New York. It's not as simple as referring to trans men, he, or a trans man, he, or a trans woman as she either. The legislation makes it clear that if an individual desires, property owners will have to make use of a ZHE, they, or her, Z or her, HIR, and any other preferred pronoun. What the fuck? Some transgender and gender non-conforming people prefer to use pronouns other than he, him, his, or she, her, hers, such as they, them, theirs, or they, or her, HIR, her. Can you fucking believe this? The NYCHRL requires employers and covered entities to use an individual's preferred name, pronoun, and title, regardless of the individual's sex assigned at birth, anatomy, gender, medical history, appearance, or the sex indicated on the individual's identification. Most individuals and many transgender people use female or male pronouns and titles. Other violations of the law include refusing to allow individuals to use single-sex facilities, such as bathrooms that are consistent with their gender identity, failing to provide employee health benefits for gender-affirming care, and imposing different uniforms or grooming standards based on sex or gender. Do you see how fucking evil this is? And this is fucking... This is tyranny. This is what we're worried about when government is actually... That's somebody imposing their view of life on you. This is how they see the world, and you better fucking act accordingly. How the fuck? And then in the article, examples of such illegal behavior include requiring female bartenders to wear makeup. That will be, you get fined for that if you own the bar. Permitting only individuals who identify as women to wear jewelry, or requiring only individuals who identify as male to have short hair, and permitting female but not male residents at a drug treatment facility to wear wigs and high heels. And I like the example, the guy that writes this. He goes, in other words, if a bar owner prevents male bartenders from wearing lipstick and heels, they'll be breaking the law. They've now got a choice between potentially scaring off customers and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. Regardless of the established clientele or aesthetic, every property owner will be forced to conform to the same standard. This is the latest in what Spiked Online editor-in-chief Brendan O'Neill, I've read some of his stuff. He's got a book about race out. Forget what the hell the title. The Crisis of Character in the West, in which identity becomes grounded in subjective interpretation rather than objective reality. The state is now forcing society to recognize the subjective identities of individuals, regardless of how absurd or surreal they may seem. That's just somebody imposing their worldview on you. Fuck that. Time for a revolution. And I'm not being disrespectful. I have somebody close to me, believe it or not, that has this transgender thing. I'm just saying. Now you're going to tell people how to perceive other people and... What? What the fuck? Who are you to make the fucking rules? You know? It's unbelievable to me. It is unbelievable. You don't have to be cruel, but now you're just fucking with us. And again, we're talking about what, 0.001% of the population probably? Unbelievable. in New York City. And they wonder why people are leaving here in droves. I read a whole article since 2010. Over 650,000 people have left New York State. They have a deficit, like the largest deficit as far as people coming in versus people leaving. You know? Because upstate New York is, they won't allow fracking. Cuomo. Liberal jack-off. So all those towns that it could have been a boon for them financially, they're all drying up. And then you got New York City, which is hostile to businesses, got more regulations anywhere in the nation, and they wonder why people are fucking leaving in droves. And now you can get accosted on the subway, just like it was 1975 under de Blasio. So, like I said, people in the Midwest, when the New York or L.A. makes fun of you, just fucking laugh right in their face. But, so if a guy wants to be called her, H-I-R, or if she wants to be called a Z, Z-H-E, I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it, you better do that if you're a business owner or if you're you own a building or you're a landlord. You'll be considered willful and malicious. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna go to a nightclub in New York. Like I said, I'm gonna put on a skirt and a wig and just go into the nearest. Follow the hottest chick into the nearest girls' room and just go. I identify as a lesbian. Let me taste you. Don't you? I want to be called she. Now they're just fucking with your heads, and you're not afraid of government out there. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? What the fuck? Why, look at you now. You look like a fucking little girl. Okay? Look at you. I said no tits. Anyways, kids, that's it for today. What a fucking weird show, huh? What a weird show. No. Thanks again for the contributions.
No, not this fucking time. No fucking way.
That's
no
right.
Fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way.
Draw the line. Come see me at Levity Live in West Nyack, New York. That's next weekend, starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then come see me at Zany's in Chicago. On the 14th, I'll be downtown for 2 shows. On Friday, the 15th, I'll be in Rosemont. And the 16th, I'll be in Rosemont. And then the Sports Haven in New Haven, Connecticut on Saturday, the 23rd. And the Comedy Shop in Pompton Plains, New Jersey. I think it's like at a Best Western. That's actually a fun one. The Music Hall of Portsmouth, New Hampshire on February 12th. With a bunch of other really funny Boston guys. Governors in Long Island, February 26 and 27, one of my favorite haunts, obviously. And College of Staten Island on the 5th of March. Bananas in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey on March 11 and 12. Side Splitters on March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. That's in Tampa. Love that joint. How about this? The Women's Club of Minneapolis I'm doing on... Well, I don't yet. Right now it's April 9th, but that's tentative. I'm trying to move that one. And you're going, really? The Woman's Club? That's just the name of the venue. It's a nice theater, supposedly. All right, kids? That's about it from here. And happy holidays to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'll talk to you soon.